Welcome everyone. Today we're going to, this lesson is about constructions, and it's the second video for chapter 1 section 3. We'll first be doing a construction of congruent angle, and then we will be doing a construction of an angle bisector. So there are 4 steps for a congruent angle and 3 for an angle bisector. Okay, for our first construction, what I want you to do first is draw a ray. So draw a ray. Oops, I forgot something. We need to first draw an angle to copy. So let's just draw an angle. It does not matter the size or the shape or anything like that. I'm just going to draw a basic angle here. There we go. Okay, there's my angle that I'm going to copy. So my first step is to draw a ray. So I want to draw a ray that is going to now be the new ray for my new angle. Okay, so there's my ray. That's step 1. Step 2 is to draw 2 congruent arcs from the angle and from the ray. So draw 2 congruent arcs from angle and ray. And remember, this is our compass is our measuring tool, so we need to use that. And we're drawing 2 arcs, and it does not matter the size or the shape. I don't want to do it too small because it's a little harder to use when it's small. So kind of, open up your compass a little bit bigger, and go ahead and draw an arc there. And then use the exact same measure to draw an arc down on your ray from the ray's end point, right? From the end point of the ray, which is right here. Got a little dark. Let's turn on a light here. See if that helps. Okay, now what we're going to do is measure how big this arc is. And remember, let's write that. Measure the size of the arc and copy the size, S-I-Z-E, to the new angle. So, how big is this arc? Well, if I measure it, so I'm going to open up my my measuring tool here so that it's exactly this right size, so just like that. Then I'm going to take it down here and I'm going to copy it down there. So I see that the 2 arcs cross each other at this point right there. If my first arc wasn't big enough, I'd have to go back and draw that in. Now all you need to do is connect a ray from the vertex to the intersection of the arcs. Okay, so from this new vertex here through the intersection, draw a ray, and we're done. So I didn't write down the, okay, so this was step 1. Step 2 was here, drawing the 2 congruent arcs. Step 3 was drawing this, and step 4 was drawing that. Okay? So hopefully that you understood that. I highly suggest that you go back and rewatch and redo and retry, and then try it on your own without any instructions and see if you can do it on your own, because that way you can make sure that you know how to draw congruent angles. All right, let's move on to angle bisectors. Angle bisectors is the bisector, so it cuts the angle in half. So the first thing we need to do after we draw our angles, so we need to draw an angle that we're going to bisect. And once again, it doesn't really matter how big or what your angle looks like. It's going to be the same for both. There's my angle. And the first thing I need to do is draw an arc. Draw an arc from the vertex. And it does not matter how big the arc is. You can choose how big you want it to be. I'm just going to have it be this size here. Draw the arc, and there we have it. Second step is to draw 2 congruent arcs from where the first arc crossed the angle. So for these two congruent arcs, you need to choose how big you want your compass to be. You want it to be a little bit bigger than halfway, because we're drawing bisectors, so a little bit bigger than halfway, but it doesn't. You can't be less than halfway, or else it won't work. You draw an arc. You pick up your pen, or so your point. So now you put the point on the new one without changing the size of the compass. Draw a new arc from there, and there's my two congruent arcs. Now we're going to draw a ray from the vertex to where the arcs intersect. So I'm going to draw from this vertex through this intersection like so. Now I have two congruent angles here. So this angle is equal in length, third size, and measure in degree to that angle there. If I were to take my protractor, I could double check and make sure that they were the same size. But we did it by construction, so we know that that is the case. So that's angle bisector. Once again, step one is to draw this arc here. That's step one. Step two, draw these two arcs here. In step three, draw the ray that connects to the vertex. So now you have an angle bisector. All right. And so that concludes the lesson for chapter 1, section 3. And we'll see you next time.